Today we'll be discussing about the topic ventricular tachycardia and ventricular fibrillation. Ventricular tachycardia means a rhythm in which the ventricles beat at a rate that is greater than 100 beats per minute. This rate arises from a part of the ventricle that is below the bundle of His. Because of this high rate, it can be classified into monomorphic type of ventricular tachycardia or polymorphic type of ventricular tachycardia. Monomorphic means the structure of the morphology of the QRS complex is the same throughout the ECG, or polymorphic means the morphology of QRS complex is varied. And in specifically, when this polymorphic type of ventricular tachycardia persists for greater than 30 seconds, it usually leads to something called as ventricular fibrillation, which is a very grave condition. I have shown two ECGs over here. The top ECG shows an example of monomorphic type of ventricular tachycardia. As you can see, the QRS complex is of same types throughout the ECG, whereas in the ECG below, the QRS complex is abnormal at certain points and varied type of abnormality is seen in another portion. This variation is called as polymorphic type of ventricular tachycardia. An important point to note here is that when the PR interval varies along with polymorphic type of ventricular tachycardia, it gives rise to a condition called torsades de pointes. I will talk about this condition in another video separately. And as I said earlier, polymorphic type of ventricular tachycardia, when sustaining for a long period of time, it can lead to ventricular fibrillation, which is a grave condition than ventricular tachycardia. Why is that? Is because along with disorganized electrical activity, there is no mechanical contraction of the ventricles. Because of this lack of proper contraction of the ventricles, the cardiac output will be very small, very less. That this reduced cardiac output lead to syncope, cardiac failure, and lot of other complications. How to differentiate between ventricular tachycardia and ventricular fibrillation through an ECG? The A ECG I have shown here is an example for ventricular tachycardia, and the B ECG shown here is an example for ventricular fibrillation. In ventricular tachycardia, you can see at least the QRS complexes are visible and understandable, whereas in the B ECG, it's just a shapeless oscillations occurring in an ECG. There is no morphology whatsoever. What are the causes for ventricular tachycardia? Main cause is ischemic heart disease or MI, myocardial infarction. The other causes are cardiomyopathy. It includes both hypertrophic as well as dilated cardiomyopathy, myocarditis, or channelopathies, that is hypokalemia or hypomagnesemia. A mnemonic to remember this condition is MIC, M-I-C. M stands for myocarditis, I stands for ischemic heart disease, and C stands for both cardiomyopathy and channelopathies, MIC. So what happens when a person gets MI is that when MI, it forms a scar tissue in the region. A scar tissue is formed in this region, for example, and because of this scar tissue, when the impulse reaches this point through the bundle of His, this impulses run in an abnormal circuit fashion because of this scar tissue, and this impulse gets faster and faster, leading to faster contractions of the muscles of ventricles at that particular point, which in turn leads to ventricular tachycardia. This is the pathophysiology behind ventricular tachycardia. So how do we find a patient clinically that he is having ventricular tachycardia or not? He will be having a pulse rate very high, that is around 120 to 220 per minute, and because of this high, cardiac output will be low, and since cardiac output is low, supply to the brain is less, it can lead to syncope, and peripheral blood pressure will be low, that leading to hypotension. Eventually it can lead to cardiac arrest, but since cardiac output is low, the atrial pressure will increase because of atrioventricular dissociation also can contribute to this, and since atrial pressure is high, it can lead to high Cannon waves. A waves will be elevated more than normal. How do we find a patient is having ventricular tachycardia or fibrillation? By investigating. Mainly we need to do ECG. By ECG, as I have discussed earlier, it will be showing broad QRS complexes that may be monomorphic or polymorphic type. We must also do serum electrolytes. By doing serum electrolytes, we can find out if he is in hypokalemia or hypomagnesemia. By doing cardiac troponin I or T, we can find out whether the person has had a myocardial infarction or not. We can also use CKMB. So how do we treat a patient with ventricular tachycardia? Provided that the patient is unstable, that is, he is having hypotension, he is having pulmonary edema, and he is deteriorating very rapidly, we must immediately go for DC cardioversion. Or if the person is stable, we can go for medical management. That is stable, he is not having hypotension, or his pulse is manageable, is in a normal range. We must start amiodarone. More commonly, amiodarone is used than lidocaine. Amiodarone, the dosage is that 150 milligram over 10 minutes, followed by 1 milligram per minute for 6 hours, followed by 0.5 milligram for 18 hours. And if you want to use lidocaine, we can go for 100 milligram IV over 5 minutes, followed by 2 milligram per minute until that ECG becomes normal. In case of the patient goes to ventricular fibrillation, the prognosis of the patient is very poor. Unless and until the patient is nearby a medical setup, he will probably die. But recently, because of the knowledge of CPR by many non-medical people, person can survive until the medical personnel arrive at the scene. Or if he has a known history of ventricular fibrillation, we can have an implantable cardiac defibrillator that synchronizes the waves and the impulses of the patient, so thereby preventing ventricular fibrillation as soon as he goes into it. Or if the medical person has arrived on the scene within the time limit, we can also use an automatic external defibrillator. Thank you.